You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Henny Abrams is with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's see, celebrations of the day. We love to celebrate on Ron Siegel Radio. National Vietnam War Veterans Day. We appreciate all of our war veterans and the men and women that served in Vietnam. They deserve an extra special thanks. They've gotten gypped. So ironic enough, it's a shame that that's gone on, but we do appreciate their service as we do with every man and woman who have served. And because we do love our veterans and our heroes so much, Ron Siegel Radio, we're going to start off the morning real quick, real early with giving away stuff. RSRheroes.com, RSRhero.com, singular, RSRhero.com. Every veteran, active, retired, military, police, fire, nurses, teachers, all get discounts when you just let us know that you are one of the RSR Hero that with listening to Ron Siegel Radio. Our team gives you that free every file. We just need to know about it. RSRhero.com. Moving right along. Josh, it's National Nevada Day. I don't know what that means, but we don't like that one. Okay, we're gonna get away from that. I didn't look it up, but Josh tells me we don't want that. Mom and Pop Business Owners Day. I like that one. That's where the start of our country, right? I mean, that's it. No matter what we say and all these big companies that are out there, it's all starts with mom and pop business owners. And for those of us that have beaten anorexia, today is National Lemon Chiffon Cake Day. I went and tried a new restaurant yesterday. They're not even opened yet, but they know that I've beaten anorexia, so I went over there and tried it out before they even opened. Mimosas, soft opening yesterday. They had carrot cake. I had to leave before we could get our slice, but good food, great service. And when you look at a restaurant that's, you go there for the soft opening and they have really, really good service. I'm looking forward to their full-fledged opening in Anaheim Hills. I understand. I don't know. Maybe you know this one, Henny. They've got a restaurant called a sister restaurant called Toast.
Yes, it's in Costa Mesa.
In Costa Mesa.
Yes.
Okay.
Eastside Costa Mesa.
I don't know anything about it. Is it good?
It's Toast Kitchen. It's great. It's right off of Newport Boulevard, right before 17th Street.
Okay, so I might have to try that. Newport Boulevard by 17th. Yeah. So we were just there the other night. We went to a different restaurant though. Is there some reason I always come back to food, having beaten anorexia? Trenta Casino in Superior. Ooh, that was a good one too. Well, let's move right along. I guess I can't talk about, I might be dating myself. Does anybody other than me remember Elmer Dills? Right. Elmer Dills was a food critic on radio for many, many years. Okay, I'm used to people telling me they don't remember the old stuff that I do. Okay, let's look at the markets. Dow Jones up 209 points. S&P 500 up 29.67. NASDAQ is up 164. Do we want to even know? Oil is down $3.48 a barrel. Okay, let's look. I don't think we've looked at this week, so we might want to take a gander. $4.02. Our tremendous underwriter, Lori, she's in Louisiana. 402 is the average in Louisiana. Our production queen, she's in charge. $4.69 for Jody over there in Arizona. 4.6. So 402, 469. Jody's at 469. Josh, you're at 5.25, buddy. But hey, we're in the formerly golden state, so we're at $5.92 a gallon. $5.92 a gallon right here in California. Josh, now you know something. Even the oil-producing state of Hawaii is better than both you and I. They're at $5.15 a gallon in Hawaii. So, you know something? I wonder if we could take the show on the road. You know, at least we can get cheaper gas prices over there in Hawaii. That might be the idea. You know, I have a private news service, and every once in a while I'm able to trip them up. It's not very often that I can trip them up, but I did get a piece of data from them recently. And they're not local, so I can't really give them full, blame them too much. But they were talking about the idea of gas taxes, and they thought that California might be the highest gas tax in the country. And then they looked at it, and they said, no, you're not the highest gas tax in the country because there's places that are more than California's 51 cent a gallon gas tax. And I had to chuckle. Because in California, and I shouldn't say this in front of Henny because she's run for office, but, she may not like the politicians any better than I do. But here's the issue. In California, we vote for the same people over and over again for some dumb reason, but we don't trust them. And why do I know that we don't trust them? Well, have you noticed what happens if you want to have a new tax in California? It's got to go to the full, to a proposition. It's got to be voted on by the entire state for a new tax. But how do they get around that? How do the politicians wiggle their way around it? And I'm trying to find my exact numbers here so I can give you real data, but I might have to do it off the top of my head because I'm not finding it first sight. But here's the issue. In California, what we've decided is, okay, so we're going to make them go through everything with us for taxes. So what do they do in California? We don't have a tax on all these things. They decided to call it a fee. So that way they can get around the idea of taxes, and they have all these different fees. Take a wild guess at what we're paying by the time you add up the taxes and the fees and all the other crap that they put in there. We're over $1 a gallon. I wish I could find the exact thing. We've got so many fees for all of these things. It's enough to make you ill. The bottom line is, if the politicians really wanted to help the people, and they don't. If they really wanted to help the people, the whole idea would be, how about a moratorium on all these gas taxes and fees? But instead the governor says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to send the people that have electric vehicles and probably make enough money not to be worried about the high price of gas. We're going to just send them a check or a debit card or whatever his latest scam is. Unbelievable. Think about that. So $400 to everybody, whether you use a car or not, whether it's an electric vehicle or not, $400 to everybody. Does that make any sense to anybody? Am I the only one here that says that there's no logic to, well, wait a second. Governor Gruesome and logic, they just don't go together. So I just found the numbers. All right, you ready for this? So in the state of confusion, 51 cents a gallon is our state gas tax. We had to add sales tax on top of that. So as gas prices go up, you're adding sales tax. We've got a low carbon fee of 22 cents, a greenhouse fee of 15 cents, a tank fee. I don't know if it's their tank, our tank, or whose tank it is. A tank fee of 2 cents a gallon. And then the president comes out with his budget this week and says, we're not taxing people enough. Yeah, I know he says it's only the people over $400,000, but do you earn over $400,000? Are you feeling the taxes or the increased taxes at the pump? I think the president has something to do with that. I'm just throwing that out there to you. Do you think that the extra costs of gasoline and diesel, do you think there's any cause there of the extra cost of everything we buy? Right? We're looking at literally, if you'd look at the numbers for real, and I know that we're coming out with the fake numbers from the government, but we're probably 10 to 12% inflation right now. Why do I say that? Well, they're not counting the cost of the increases in the roof over your head. Now, I know there are some people that don't pay that, but it does cost a little bit extra if you want to have a roof over your head. Just throw that out there for you. So they're using a different number in there for some of these different areas. It's they use a much smaller number than what's realistic when you're coming to rent or cost of housing. And in the next segment, we're going to talk a bit about what that cost of housing is. What else is going on in the world today? Let's see. Apple and GameStop stock gained for the 10th straight trading session. Does anybody care about that? President Biden defended his improvised comment from the weekend, declaring that Russian President Vladimir Putin, quote unquote, cannot remain in power. Think about this. And how does he defend that? I mean, is this guy, I mean, I hate to be rude about the president of the United States, but I don't know what else we could say.
Idiot.
My comments only reflect my personal opinions and not United States policy. Well, Mr. President, I'm sorry to tell you this. Who makes policy, right? Who's leading this? Your words count. Unbelievable, but hey, we got what we voted. Well, maybe we didn't now that we're seeing the latest 255,000 votes. We'll report on that one tomorrow. You can reach me anytime. We're going to continue our conversation. Hey, how about the best week to list your house just around the corner? 5 tax tips for 2022 filing season. So I know that there are some people that have already filed their taxes. Yes, you're the ones that are getting a refund. Maybe you didn't get as much as you should have. Those of us that have not filed our taxes, that means we probably owe money. So we want to know about these tax tips. We'll see what happens with them. We'll talk about that. Let's see what else. Yeah, and we're going to talk about local politics. There's a lot of people that like to get involved in the state and federal politics. Local politics, if you are living locally, might be good to understand what's going on. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. Even the bank statement loan, stated income loan, 1099 loans, specialty loans, reverse mortgages. They've got all of them. All you need to do is give a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So let's look and see what is going on in the mortgage market today. Well, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, as we looked at earlier, up 193 points right now. The S&P 500 is up 29.91. NASDAQ up 175 and a half. Let's see if we can find. I know that I have mortgage rates. You know, I talk about this one all the time. I do need to make sure that we get this accurate because, well, we don't want to be like the rest of the news media that does not give you accurate information. And the reason that I know that our data is accurate is I'm going to even tell you the sources. This is not from an anonymous source. So OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. Why? Because they oversee 35% of mortgage originations, all consumers. So where are mortgage rates? Are you ready? Yesterday, they locked, on average, 30-year conforming loans, 4.934. 4.934 is where they locked. Ow! Yeah, that's painful. The 15-year, 3.939. Jumbos, 4.363. Now, if you want to get it, just to give you a little bit of an idea on some of these things, where were these rates? Let's just look at, well, let me get the number from the beginning of the year. That's a good one, is to go, where were rates January 1st as compared to, whoops, my report just came, it only gives me last 90 days. That'll give us a good number, right? December 28th, 2021 through March 28th. Yeah, I'm sorry, the data's from yesterday. It's not today's data. So yesterday, loans closed at 4.934. 1 year ago, on the 28th of December, 3.328. 3.328. Yeah, if you didn't listen to us back then when we told you, the likelihood is of rates going up versus down, we know which way the likelihood is. What are they going to do tomorrow? I don't know. But I can tell you this, there are still great options out there. There are great opportunities out there. But why are these things happening? What's going on? What is driving all of these rates? Well, we got the Case-Shiller Home Price Index came out this morning. The tracks the changes in value of residential real estate across the U.S. reported for the month of January. National Index, which covers all 9 U.S. Census divisions, reported at 19.2% annual gain. Wow. Up from 18.6 was the number in December. So that's a biggie. FHFA, the Federal Housing Finance Agency, House Price Index, which measures home price appreciation on single-family homes with conforming loan amounts, increased by 1.6% in January, which was above expectations of 1.1%, increased by 0.5% year over year from the previous report of 17.7 to 18.2. Then we got the job openings report. So it's the Labor Department's JOLTS report. Tracks the monthly change in job openings, reported 11.266 million for the month of February, which was higher than expectations. More jobs available than we expected. We expected 11.1 million, lower than last month's revised report of 11.283. Is your head spinning from all these numbers yet? There's a lot going on, and that's what's driving the market. Not to mention the fact that the Federal Reserve said they're going to increase interest rates a lot. Are you looking at that adjustable rate mortgage yet? Have you started thinking about that? If you understood it, you would. If you understood economics, you would. If you understood market cycles, you would. Now, young people, and I'm old, I tell you that right along, they remember exactly one recession. And that was the recession that was caused by real estate. Real estate did not drop during the 2008 recession. Real estate caused the 2008 recession. So yeah, property values dropped by 19.7%. We're going to head into a recession. It doesn't matter what we do at the November elections. By January, we'll be in a recession. We may not report it until July next year, but by January, we'll be in a recession. My opinion, Ron Siegel Radio, I do have that crystal ball. It sits over right outside the camera, but we'll be there. What happens to interest rates during a recession? They drop. So why would I say you want to take action now? Because it's smart. You take action right away, you get all that debt off your balance sheet, and then you restructure when rates go down, because a cash out refinance is always more expensive than a purchase money or rate and term. And real estate values will continue to go up. Why? Because we're short 4 million pieces of property. We need 4 million across the country. How many are we going to have available this year? Well, 870,000 properties available right now. So we're only short by about a factor of 5x, if my math is correct. So when you've got that biggest shortage of something, kind of like gas, see gas prices keep going up because we don't have enough. Bacon, I know that we legislate that one out of California. So go, Josh, I even have to go to Nevada now to buy bacon. Unbelievable. That's the Mortgage Minute. It actually might have been more than a minute, but that's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. Yeah. You know something, the beauty of having guests come on radio is because then I don't have to talk as much. But I still do, right, Josh? My wife sent, now you said that your husband sent you a text during the break.
Yes, he did.
My wife usually sends me one also, every once in a while. She doesn't listen very often. That saves me a little bit. But it's usually let your guests talk. So I'm going to let you talk, Henny. So Henny Abrams, maybe I'll get your name right this time.
There we go.
Running for city council in Costa Mesa.
Yes, sir.
Why?
There you go. That's a golden question. Well, thank you for having me on your show. My name is Henny Abrams, and I have been living in Costa Mesa since 2018. So I'm not going to give you this as a lifelong resident of Costa Mesa, because I'm not. I am a small business owner. I'm a mother to 2.5-year-old and a 7-year-old.
2.5 and 7.
Yes, 2 boys. And
Gosh, that's pretty close to you, right?
And I always say I have 3 because my husband counts as 1. He's the ringleader.
Of course.
Hi, Brad. He's listening, so I can say that.
You have boys?
Yes, 2 boys.
I couldn't figure out how to make girls either because I couldn't afford them.
That's what everyone. I'm an only child, and I can say girls are definitely more expensive.
I sometimes say that if one of my kids was an only child, if they were a first child, they would have been only child. But that's a different story.
Yep. We talked about that before the show. So here is the story why I have been chosen to run. I'm going to say I didn't choose politics. Politics chose me. I've been in healthcare my whole life since I was 19 years old. And November of 2019, my husband and I opened our dream of owning our own small business. We opened the wellness center, and we were excited. It was both of our dreams. You know, we both come from corporate background, and we just wanted that American dream. So our kids didn't have to go the corporate ground. Well,
a wellness center.
Yes.
What is a wellness center?
It makes you well. So
it's going to take a whole lot for that.
So I've been in pharmaceuticals since I was 19.
Oh, so you're a drug dealer.
I used to be a legal drug dealer. That's what I used to say. And now I can say it because I no longer do that.
Okay.
And when I saw my patients not doing well on these lifelong drugs, I went the holistic route, and I decided to put an emphasis on prevention instead of treatment. So that's what we do. We keep people well so they don't need to be dependent on a whole lot of pharmaceuticals.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right?
I've actually started doing some of that stuff. So I have a friend of mine who's a chiropractor, and he says, well, the way the medical industry works is you get a drug for a problem, and then you need another drug for the side effects of the first drug.
Correct.
And another drug for the side effects of the first 2 drugs.
Yep. And by the time that you're on the 5th drug, you don't even know why you started to take the first one to begin with.
Yeah, you feel fine from the first one, and now you stop taking the drug for that one. Why am I taking those other ones?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So, I always, and when I met my husband, he had the same mindset. He was from the similar background, and we both said, we don't have a healthcare system. We have a sick care system.
That's it.
Because we don't come to someone's aid until they're so ill that, they have to go to the doctor. So Wellness Center, we focus on preventing anything or helping people using food, nutrition, exercise.
I use food, but it doesn't seem to help.
Well,
maybe that's a different issue.
Yeah. Come talk to me, and then we'll figure it out. Long story short, we had our grand opening in November of 2019. Now, mind you, back then, my youngest was 2 months old. So we literally opened our business while I was pregnant with the second one, because we were on a mission to make sure, we're established, and COVID happens. And our wellness center was deemed non-essential. Now I'm going to take a pause, and I'm going to explain that for people who don't understand.
Non-essential. I guess you don't need to get well during a pandemic.
Yep. You hit it right. So I was, not just me, but a lot of our wellness centers, our spas, our when I say spas, I mean chiropractors, yoga centers. They actually help people be well. We were all deemed
Isn't
non-essential.
that a surprise?
Yeah. And I was the one screaming at City Hall because I realized how much control our local government had. I was waiting for the president or the governor to tell us what to do, but the local control that our City Hall had over our small businesses is what made me realize, I've been looking at this wrong this whole time. I sent a couple of emails and phone calls to our City Hall, and when I didn't get a response, I looked at my husband. I said, I'm done complaining. What can I do? He said, well, there's an open seat for our district. I said, okay, let's do it. What did I know?
Wow.
Yeah. What did I know about politics? Absolutely nothing, I'm going to say at this point. Learning what I've learned in the past 2 years. As an immigrant, I know that once I became a citizen, it was my absolute honor to vote because it's a privilege to vote. So that's what I did. But I always depended on the politicians to save us. And
Well, you don't want politicians to save you. That's the last one.
And I always had this idea in my head that being in politics means you're a public servant. So you serve the public. You listen to your constituents. You do what the majority of people want. And the more I looked into it, the less of that I was finding. So I decided to be...
That's for sure.
Yeah. So that's why I always say politics, I didn't choose politics. Politics chose me. And I was extremely lucky and blessed for people to see my heart. I always wanted to talk to people. I never went for they always tell you when you get into politics, find the donors. I said, I will never do that. I'm going to find the people because they're the ones that I have to serve.
Well, you have to serve them, but somebody's got to pay the bills.
That's very
And
true,
we're going to
too.
go do that right now. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, the best week to list your house is just around the corner, and 5 tips for the 2022 tax filing season. All that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
We're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions. as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Find out the information. The Scout has everything for you. Want to know what your property's worth? You want to even know what the fake information is that you're getting from Zillow? Just my opinion. And it'll show you that right on there so you can see what their number comes up with and what some of the other sources say. If you're out looking for a new home, if you're out looking for a property, maybe you're leaving California and going to America. Well, you got all the locations there. You can see what these prices are, what properties are. You can shop right there, rsrhomescout.com. And guess how much it's going to cost you? Nada. It's a gift from Ron Siegel Radio. The best week to list your house is just around the corner. Are you thinking about selling your house? If so, you may want to make it a priority to start the process soon. According to Realtor.com, the sweet spot for sellers is just around the corner. In a recent study, experts analyzed housing market trends by looking at data from the past several years, excluding 2020, since it was an atypical year, some people might think. When applied to the current markets, experts determined the ideal week to list a house this year. The research says, quote unquote, here it is, quote, home sellers on the fence waiting for that perfect moment to sell should start preparations because the best time to list a home in 2022 is approaching quickly. The week of April 10 to 16 is expected to have the ideal balance of housing market conditions that favor home sellers more so than any other week in the year, unquote. If you've been putting your move on the back burner, waiting for the ideal time to sell, you should know your golden window of opportunity is coming up. If you're able to get your house ready quickly, here's what you can expect from that week. You should see more buyer activity. The article expects higher buyer demand based on what's happened in previous years. This could result in increased competition amongst buyers and ultimately a bidding war over your house. And since mortgage rates recently climbed up over 4%, chances are good that analysis is correct. When rates rise, experts say buyers often hurry to make their purchases before rates climb higher. FOMO. As Nadia Evangelos, senior economist and director of forecasting at the National Association of Realtors, says, quote, buyers are rushing to lock in lower rates as the outlook is for even higher mortgage rates in the following months, unquote. Your house is expected to sell quickly. Additionally, the Realtor.com analysis shows houses sell even faster during this week of the year, likely due to the heightened buyer demand. If you work with a trusted real estate professional to price your house right, it should sell quickly. And when homes are already selling in just under 18 days, according to the National Association of Realtors, that could set you up for a big win. Your house will be in the spotlight. Since the beginning of the year, the number of homes available for sale has been at or near record lows. According to the Realtor.com study, the typical trend for this week of the year is that there will be even fewer sellers on the market. If you list when inventory is low, your house will be the center of attention for eager buyers craving options. If you're ready to move fast, you may want to shoot for April 10th to 16th as your target goal. Just remember, even if you're not ready to list within the next couple of weeks, rest assured this is still a hot seller's market. If you list later in April, you still will be in the driver's seat. Bottom line, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's chat about your schedule, your timing, your goals, your objectives. Everyone is a bit different. Let's talk about it. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Continue our conversation this morning. Henny Abrams is with us for some reason. We haven't got to it yet. Running for Costa Mesa City Council.
Yes.
Is Costa Mesa at least a civil council? Some of the cities, their councils are, the meetings can get pretty unruly.
Okay, we are. I'm
Good.
going to say we are. But here's the issue. We don't have a balanced council. And that's one of the reasons I think a lot of people need to pay
What is a
attention.
balanced council?
That means you have people from all side of the aisles and you do not make it a partisan
Okay.
issue. It should be nonpartisan.
Yeah, there's a
However,
lot of things it should
it
be.
should be. I mean, I'm still holding hope. That's why I
Okay.
haven't left California yet. We have a balanced council right now, and not a balanced council, but civil, because we have a 6-1 majority. And when 6 people out of 7 agree with each other, of course you're going to have meetings that are very civilized.
Ooh.
Now, back in the day when we had 3-3 or 2-3, then our council meetings used to go till 2 a.m. and there was a lot of opposition. But I think that's what makes a good makeup for city council. You need to argue for the people. You need to have representation for everyone in your city. So, and it's not just Costa Mesa. You're seeing it across the aisle in different cities that are council races, our water boards, our school boards, sanitaries. It's all become partisan, and we're forgetting that none of these races should be partisan. So
it's amazing. So it goes back to one of my comments is that the biggest thing that politicians want is re-election.
absolutely, that's why we keep recycling them.
Right.
And that's one of my biggest pet peeves.
We
Why?
need to send most of them to the recycling center.
Yes, it should retire. And one of my biggest, it's no secret to anybody that knows me, I'm a Republican. Now, I have also been accused that I'm not a real Republican because back in 2007, when I became a citizen, I was a registered Democrat. Okay, I was also not a Christian, but when I became a Christian, nobody judged my past for it. They knew that I found a better solution. So, what is happening, unfortunately, is we have a lot of politicians, but none of them are taking interest in mentoring the next generation.
That's an interesting one.
That's an issue, and it is an issue because once these politicians leave their seats, there is no one to take over because they didn't spend their last 2 terms actually finding their replacement. And by finding their replacement, I don't mean like, someone that the party tells you whether
Mini me.
yeah. No, that's not replacement. It's someone that you have mentored and is able to follow your seat and improve it, not just go there and be another yes man and so on and so forth. So that's why my goal. That's why I'm running for office. I'm not running just because I want to stay in office for the rest of my life. I truly want my generation, 30s, 40s, to change the face of politics locally and all the way to national. Otherwise, there is
So-
no country left.
So explain this one for me, or maybe you
Sure.
can give me your thoughts. Because having started a small business of your own, did you make use of the city, any of the city individuals to get licensed, or was there a lot of red tape? Or what I look at is when I had my own business, I've always been interested in politics, right? Not getting in it. I got way too much baggage, and there's a lot of tape of me saying my opinions. Let's just put it that way.
Makes you human.
But I realized later on that if I had been more involved in local politics, I would have been able to navigate the requirements of my business better. Were you involved? Did you have to navigate to open your business?
We were very fortunate, and I'm grateful for our business licensing department. No, it was very easy to obtain the license. We had our ducks in the row before we had the license, so it was easy to get it, to even get our physical location, the commercial property. However, things have changed since 2019 because of all the new restrictions that are coming. So many changes that are happening. A lot of people don't realize this about Costa Mesa, but Costa Mesa has the highest number of business licenses for small businesses in Orange County.
Wow.
And I always say small businesses are the backbone of any economy. Don't look at corporates to save us because they're the first one that will abandon us and tank us. It's the mom and pop stores that are the backbone of every economy. And if they get abandoned, like many of us did, as in March of 2020,
Sure.
that's why we're in trouble. Because when we had small business loans that were going to the Lakers, because I guess they are considered a small business. And here are these mom and pop stores that have been around for 20 years and generations going under, and we didn't take care of them. That's when the real issue started with us.
That's right. I had no idea that Costa Mesa has the highest number of small business licenses.
Yes.
I guess it's in the high rises over
It is.
there.
Well, we are a great city. Just look at our location. We are right smack in the middle of Huntington Beach and Newport Beach. You got access to the freeway. We are literally 30 minutes from any entertainment that you want to get to. My husband told me to give Costa Mesa a try for 6 months, and here I am. Not only did I stay, but I am not going anywhere. I want to make it better, and that's why I'm doing what
So
I'm doing.
it's all because of him that you're doing this.
Yes.
You're giving him all this credit.
Yes, I am, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Credit needs to be given.
So what do you want to accomplish?
Okay. I want our politicians, and I'm going to call them politicians, because once you lose interest in serving your people, you become a politician. I want all our politicians to become public servants, and I want them to lose elections so they become humble enough, knowing that the will of the people is a lot stronger than the unions or special interest groups on both sides of the aisle. I want to see my local.
Hold on to that, because we've got to pay the bills still.
Yes, please.
We're gonna talk more about what Henny wants to accomplish in her her race to be as a city council member when we come back. We'll also chat 5 tax tips for the 2022 filing season and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it's wrong. They all are. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. Tax tips for the 2022 filing season if you haven't filed already, or if you find out that maybe you missed something, you might be needing to do a amended tax return. If you're anything like me, getting lots of mail lately with, quote, important tax document enclosed, unquote. Notice on the outside of the envelope, you've been seeing loads of ads for tax software companies. Yes, tax season is once again upon us. And while 2021 may not have been quite as strange as 2020, it still contained its fair share of unusual events which could impact your taxes. Before you jump into filing your return, you'll want to make sure that you're aware of the new requirements and opportunities that may apply to you this year. Check out these 5 tax tips for the 2022 filing season to help you get started. Number 1, reconcile your advanced child tax credit payments. When the American Rescue Plan passed in March 2021, it included some big changes to the child tax credit. While previously the credit was worth $2,000 at most in 2021, it was worth up to $3,600 for dependents age 5 and below and $3,000 for dependents age 6 to 17. The income limit to qualify for these maximum credits was $75,000 for singles, $112,500 for head of household, and $150,000 for married couples filing jointly. Unlike in prior years where taxpayers could only be refunded up to $1,400 per eligible dependent, the expanded child tax credit was fully refundable. Finally, families were able to receive up to half of the credit in advance through monthly payments from July through December of 2021. However, those that preferred to wait until they filed their returns in 2022 to claim the full credit were allowed to opt out of this program. Why would you opt out? The advanced child tax credit payments may have provided a much needed financial boon to many families who are struggling through another difficult year, but they also added some extra tax filing work as everyone who received advance payments will need to reconcile them on their returns. By reconcile, we mean that you'll need to calculate whether you received too little or too much child tax credit through advance payments. The IRS generally based its advance payments on 2020 tax returns or 2019 returns when 2020 returns weren't available. But if any key factors like your household income or family size changed in 2021, it could impact the amount of credit you actually qualified for. If you received less in advance payments than your child tax credit amount, you can claim the difference on your return. But if your advance payments exceeded your child tax credit amount, you may need to push some of it back. This repayment would reduce your tax refund or increase the amount of tax that you owe. However, there is a repayment protection provision that generally excuses taxpayers with low to moderate income from repaying excess advanced child tax credit payments. To learn more about how to reconcile advanced child tax credit payments or to see if you qualify for repayment protection, go to the IRS FAQs. Sorry, I had to say that. Number 2, track down your missing stimulus check. In 2021, many taxpayers also received a third round of economic impacts payments, EIPs. This third stimulus check was actually the largest of all, $1,400 per person in a qualifying household. This means most eligible families of 4 received $5,600. Yeah, how's that feel to you now? As with the prior 2 rounds of payments, only taxpayers with incomes below certain limits qualified for the third stimulus checks. These limits were single filers, $75,000 to $80,000, head of household, $112,500 to $120,000, married couples filing jointly, $150,000 to $160,000. In the case of single filers, if your income was less than $75,000, you were owed the full credit. Above that level, the amount you qualified for gradually phased out until disappearing completely once your AGI reached at least $80,000. Similar to the advanced child tax credit payments, eligibility for the first stimulus check was based on prior year tax returns. But if your income decreased in 2021 or you gained a dependent, you may be eligible for more economic stimulus than you received last year. The good news is that if you're owed stimulus money, you can claim the recovery rebate credit on your tax return to receive it. But unlike with excess child tax credit payments, you will not have to repay any of the EIP, even if you would have actually qualified for less based on your 2021 return. Number 3, deduct some or more of your charitable donations. Did you donate to charity because charitable causes last year? If so, you should know that there were 2 significant expansions to the tax benefits of giving to charities that applied only in 2021. First, non-itemizers are eligible to deduct up to $600 of their cash donations. That's a big deal, as those who take the standard deductions are not ordinarily allowed to claim any of their charitable donations as an extra deduction, but they can on their 2022 returns. Second, itemizers are allowed to deduct up to 100% of their adjusted gross income through qualified charitable contributions that were made in 2021. Normally, charitable giving deductions are limited to 20% to 60% of AGI. The bottom line is a lot of taxpayers will either be able to claim a charitable donation for the first time or will be able to claim a larger deduction than usual. So if you donated to a charity in 2021, don't forget to take full advantage of these expanded benefits. Number 4, realize that hurricane-related losses may be deductible. Being that we're in California, I'm not going to spend too much time on that one. Number 5, understand who qualifies for the home office deduction and who does not? Now, when I was younger, my accountant said, do not take a home deduction. Big red flag. You want to get audited? Take that. It's not quite the case anymore. When the pandemic began in 2020, millions of us began working from home. And even though social distancing guidelines relaxed in many areas throughout 2021, that didn't apply at home. Many employers continued to allow or require their employees to work remotely. If you worked from home last year, you may have heard about the home office deduction or wondering if you qualify for this tax benefit. Unfortunately, the answer is probably no. Through at least 2025, only self-employed workers are eligible for the home office deduction. So this isn't a deduction that W-2 employees can presently claim, and even those who work from a home office every day. Unbelievable. But if you're a freelancer, maybe you should be, independent contractor, or small business owner, you should definitely consider taking advantage of this deduction for the 2021 tax year. You can claim $5 per square foot up to a maximum of 300 square feet. Learn more about the home office deduction. Again, go to the IRS. Bottom line, 5 tax situations explained previously are far from the only ones that may impact your 2022 filing season. Other notable 2021 tax changes includes the extension of tax-free employer student loan payment assistance, a lower floor for medical expense deductions, and an expanded child and dependent care credit. As always, my big suggestion to you, talk to your tax professional. And I'm going to say it. I've said it so many times, and I just ran into this just the other day, unfortunately. Your taxes need to be done in October or November. They are reported in April. But if you don't look at them with a professional in October and November, there's very little they can do to help you minimize your taxes. Now, if you're one of those people that likes to pay a lot of taxes, God bless you. I don't know why, but there are those people. But hey, the idea there, again, talk to your tax professional. If you don't have a 10-star tax professional, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I've got a bunch of them that people report to me that they really, really like. Let's get back to our conversation. Chatting this morning, Henny Abrams is with us. She's running for Costa Mesa City Council. And we're talking before the break about what you want to accomplish. So making politicians into a public servant, that's a heck of a goal.
It is. And it is a big undertaking. And I don't know if my journey since April of 2020, when I decided that I was going to run for city council, is taking me where I thought it's going to take me. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to run. I lost that election. But I learned so much from it that I decided to do something with it. So my goal is not just for city council in Costa Mesa. My goal, like I said, is to change the face of politics locally. And then hopefully one day my children will be able to pick it up in couple of decades and say, you know, we can continue to do this too.
Continue the mission.
Yes, this is my mission. It has become my life. My husband will say that because now all I do is this. I co-founded 3 organizations since November of 2020. I am the chair of 2 of them. I started a nonprofit called Costa Mesans for a Better Future. The other organizations are Greater Costa Mesa Republicans, South Coast Republican Women Federated, and my other one is just nonpartisan. The reason why is not so I can have all these titles behind me is because unless we start educating the public of what's happening, we are going to be in this insanity of politics for decades to come.
And it is insane.
It sure is.
Craziness.
Yes.
Okay, so when's the election?
Election is November 8th in 2022. But remember, every Californian now gets a mail-in ballot since Governor Newsom decided we should. And so technically it starts in October because you can start early voting.
Yeah, and we can just go help people and pick them up and do all that stuff that the governor wants us to do, right?
You know, Ron, I'm just going to say this. As someone who comes from a country where, you know, I remember we would go vote, but we knew the elections were already decided. I was born and raised in Iran, and I came here when I was 13. Take the honor and the privilege of one day a year to show up to a polling center, even if it takes you all day to stand in line and vote.
Have you ever had to stand in line to vote?
No.
I mean, I've voted I don't think I've ever missed an election, and I'm old, right? So I think I voted every year since the Reagan years, and it does. I've never really had to stand in line more than maybe 2 or 3 people.
No, just do it. And even if you have to, I've seen people stand in Starbucks lines for longer than voting. So if you can do that, go ahead and vote in person.
Isn't that there's nowhere that that's a mic drop right there. Hey, as always, if you want more information about Henny and her candidacy, give me a call, 800-306-1990. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join us on Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.